Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining and watching this webcast. The purpose of it is to give you guys a little bit of an update as to what the CAA has been up to for you. I'm joined by past president Kyle Rudden, who came all the way from Trinidad to see me. No, seriously, but while he's here, we thought we'd do this segment together. And then you'll see other videos from other members of our board talking about some of the things that they've been working on. We have a cast from Nicola and also from Nikita. So that will follow on after our little intro. So I'm going to first talk to you a little bit about what the strategy has been and the vision has been of what we could do for the next 2 years. And then I'll get into overview of who are some of the volunteers that have been working really hard for you and what we've been up to. And then we'll have a little segue into what we have planned for the conference. Okay. So on to the next slide. We'll move down.
Thanks for letting me share this with you, Simone, because we're here in the North Caribbean, the far North Caribbean being Canada.
Good point. And we don't have Pedro, so we're going to be a little bit slow on this. Okay, so please remember, so we have, this is our North Star objectives or ambition level. This hasn't changed, but it's quite ambitious. So it's going to be always a work in progress. So what we have here is developing Caribbean actuaries of the future, yourselves. And on that, it's always top of mind. But what we have done this year is to form a membership support subcommittee, who's just going to be focused on your needs and how we can better serve you. So that's their mandate. And you'll have a little video from Nicola on what they're doing there. The other one is developing sustainable Caribbean solutions in the public interest. That's always been there, but we haven't really focused on it. We get along with our day-to-day technical actuarial work and we focus on that, but we haven't really, in a concentrated focus way, try to look into things that have most regional impact. So what we've done, we've got a new committee called the Regional Issues Subcommittee, which is chaired by Nikita Gibson, and she will be talking a little bit about what she's doing there. And then, of course, we have the Uphold High Ethical and Professional Standards, as always, and the Governance Committee has come up with tweaks on their policies. And they'll be talking to you about that at the town hall in December. Collaborating with governments, regulators, actuarial associations. That's something that we've always worked on, and we have close relationships through the advisory council work. But we've also now formed a regional issues subcommittee, as I mentioned earlier. And what they do is all the technical stuff that we're working on, we're trying to make sure that information gets to our stakeholders or the regulators on a more timely basis. And then the last one, position the CAA as a primary reference for risk solutions in the Caribbean. Again, that's being attacked by the Regional Issues Subcommittee and the Societal Steering Committee, which we'll talk a little bit about more. So here's a little bit of the visual.
Wow, that's small.
Yeah, so this will be sent to you by email, and so you'll have a chance to go through it in more detail. So we have here the board, the CAA board, which has oversight over the Technical Steering Committee, the Common Standards Committee, the Communications Committee, Governance Committee, and the Societal Steering Committee. The Societal Steering Committee is a new committee. And what the job of this steering committee is we try to do with this is bring in the veteran CAA members to offer their guidance. So they're not on the working committees, but it's a way to leverage those who are close to issues in the region, have been past CIA presidents. It's a vehicle to allow us to be able to leverage some of the experience of our former veteran CAA members.
I thought you were going to say close to retirement.
No, but I was avoiding that. So under the Societal Steering Committee, they provide support to the Membership Support Committee and the Regional Issues Committee. So on Societal Steering Committee, we have people that come in to help us, like Neil Dingwall. We've had Derek Osborne visiting as well, Kathy Lynn as well, helping us out there. So we're definitely, it's a time to be able to bring people in to help us figure out some navigate some of the challenges we might be facing, or help us prioritize some of the things we should be doing.
Can I just make a comment there?
Mhm.
I really like this because you've got people like Kathy Lynn who've always been passionate about genuinely changing the Caribbean for the better and helping young actuaries get into new areas. So what I see here is we're actually fleshing out, we're giving people things that they can do concretely to move some of these visions forward. So I think that's really great.
Exactly. No, this is exactly the idea of it. We have people who have brilliant ideas. They don't necessarily have the time to be on working committees. So here's their entrance point to help us, and guide us, and make sure we, can see, what's the saying? The forest through the trees.
See the forest through the trees, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's a way also to build for capacity building, increase awareness in the region of the great work our actuaries are doing. And as I mentioned, the focus on the membership support.
Sorry, could I also talk out, this is good for your resume if you're a young or medium experienced actuary. So if you get and jump into any of these initiatives, you can stick it on your resume. It's not just good for CPD. It actually looks good that you're working in some of these cutting edge areas and providing real practical implementation issues that help the Caribbean.
Right. And also just the other type of skills. It's an opportunity to develop your leadership skills, bring a goal to fruition without the corporate overlay. So it's an opportunity for growth for yourself as well. Okay, so I'd like to introduce some of the people who have been spearheading and these new initiatives. I have myself up there.
Yep, very good picture, very good picture.
Okay, and also we have Judy, our president-elect. She's a member of the Social Security Committee, and she's been doing a lot of great work helping us on the response to different social security issues that have come up in the Caribbean, primarily Barbados this year. We have Nikita, she's running on all cylinders for the CAA, and she spearheaded a lot of the initiatives under industry growth in particular. So you'll be seeing a lot of Nikita, I think this year, for the rest of the year and next year. Nicola as well, she has probably one of the biggest teams right now under membership support, and they're doing a lot of brilliant work, which you'll hear about in her video. And for Pedro, Pedro is one of our amazing volunteers. He has been for the last, let's say 5 years, and he keeps going. He's solid, and he's been helping us get into the new tech and trying to get people like Judy, myself, and Kyle up on Slack and all these e-folders and etc. So he may, you'll hear more from him at the town hall in December.
So Simone, why don't you tell us some of the things we've actually been doing in 2022?
Okay, so under the membership support subcommittee led by Nicola, she'll talk a little bit more about that, but she's been focused on developing an actuarial student illustrative exam program. So where employers can look to what is normal, what is competitive. And her team has also issued a survey to employers, and she'll be talking a little bit more about that. Under the Developing Sustainable Caribbean Solutions agenda, we've had the Regional Issues Subcommittee working on that. And under there's task forces. The Climate Change Task Force, I'm not sure if you've seen any of their webcasts, but they've been probably one of the most active teams that we've had. They've been coming up with a lot of good material on technical side, modeling of climate change risk, as well as sustainability. And then we've launched a DEI subcommittee as well, and we are putting out articles and also I guess awareness reminders on our social media platforms. And within that as well, we have I guess communications and collaboration with our regulators and our other stakeholders, including regulators and the government. We have issued an article on economic substance legislation. We had a statement from the president, myself, on the Barbados Social Security issue. And subsequent to that, we also have put out an article at the end of September, and as well as just submission to the NIS.
Didn't you also meet with the Caribbean Association of Insurance Regulators a few weeks ago?
Oh, that's correct. You were there with me on that, and we presented some of our ideas and thoughts of what we would like to do and would require assistance from the regulator on. For example, that we can cover that under the technical committee, but
Sure.
we definitely we're hoping to have closer connections with the regulators here, and we'll have also in December our advisory council meeting. And I think that's.
Yeah, no, I think we're good here.
Okay. Okay. We talked about this, just the steering committees. The value of it is huge. It's a way to engage our veteran members to check in and help guide our new initiatives, and they can use whatever bandwidth they have. So if you're listening and you're ex-president or veteran, please connect with us and let us know if you have any time to sit on these steering committees. We do value your feedback and your guidance. So as mentioned, we've had contributions from Neil, Kathy, and Derek this year, and we're happy to have more of you sitting on these steering committees. On the technical steering, you want to talk about that?
Okay, sure. Do you want me to go through some of the things that various subcommittees have been working on?
Please.
Okay, so the technical steering committee is sort of a clearinghouse where the chairpersons of the various technical committees, life, P&C, pensions, and so on, and social security can get together and just coordinate, share what's been going on. On the life side, there's been an awful lot of work on IFRS 17. In fact, it sucked all the oxygen out of the room. That's about the only thing we do these days, because there's so much. It's really going to change the reporting for life insurance companies significantly. It has knock-on effects for regulators in terms of capital standards and reporting. It's actually a very big thing. It's challenging to implement in the developed countries, and for us with much less market signaling of yield curves and things like that, there's a lot more subjectivity in how you apply these things. So we've been working in all the major territories, trying to come up with yield curves. I think Simone you had the discount rate subcommittee?
No, I think I wouldn't call it head. I mean, I coordinated the effort.
Coordinate, yeah.
And I'm leading on some of the writing that's happening right now, and we hope to have a guidance paper in draft before the end of the year still. So please look out for that. But outside of IFRS 17, you've also been leading an initiative on mortality, gathering information.
Okay, sure. I mean, the lack of Caribbean specific mortality tables is a challenge for any actuary working in the region. On the pension side, we have several initiatives going. So Stokely Smart over at UE St. Augustine has been developing some mortality tables with the assistance of the National Insurance Program in Trinidad and Tobago. Lisa Wade has been working with the Society of Actuaries to pull together some NIS annuitant mortality tables, and I've been seeing, I think the draft just came out, so hopefully we can see some more work out of that. On the life insurance side, we've been developing a tool that regulators can use to gather information from companies, and the tool will also aggregate and provide the regulators with summarized information. The regulators are very interested in that, and hopefully be able to see some actual use of that maybe in the next few months. So that would be great. I'm seeing, well, I think we mentioned the climate change people have been doing a lot of work because there's a lot of work to be done there.
And because it has a societal issue, it's, pertinent to our region. They also, come into the social societal steering committee as well as a technical committee. Yeah. They attend both committee meetings, so they've been seriously active this year.
And I'll leave, I think that's Nicola's video to do with some of that interesting stuff.
Nikita.
Okay, right. Yeah. Including the climate change index and so on and so forth. At a general level, the introduction of IFRS 17 is actually going to require us to change all of our standards, because some of our standards need to be rewritten to allow for the fact that the actual reporting for life and P&C companies is going to be replaced by a quote-unquote accounting standard which is no longer a purely actuarial standard. So internationally, actuaries have been rewriting their actuarial standards to deal with us having to report on what is not primarily an actuarial standard. So I think it's ISAP 4 that the IAA has issued, which kind of we need to see how that fits in and may require some changes for us. So our Common Standards Committee will be dealing with that mostly. I'll pause there for questions. If you have any, please email them.
So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much to our volunteers on these committees. It's a lot of work, and you know you're doing it in your limited spare time. So I want to give a shout out especially to Nikita, Tony, Marcus, Rohan, Lakshmi, Simone, Balkasoon, Britta. We want to thank you so much for your time that you've spent working for the CAA on these goals.
So Simone, I want you to please tell us about the experiences we had reaching out to the African profession, sorry, the actuarial profession in Africa.
Right. So this is the highlight for me this year, representing the CAA, having the ability to go to the conference in Ghana. It was amazing. The networking, the ambiance, the welcome. I got to meet with other leaders of actuarial professions, organizations in Africa, in Ghana. And, you know, we had some discussions on issues that we all face. And I'm hoping that going forward that we will keep the connection and continue to learn from each other. We have actually reached out personally to invite a lot of those people we've met over there to come to our conference. So definitely looking forward to make them feel welcome in Barbados. And also, like, notably, I was able to actually receive the President's Medal from Kyle and John Robinson, the president-elect of the SOA, soon to be president. Had we were honored to have him do the official handoff. So that was exciting. I met in particular with the president of the Kenyan Society, Kenyan Actuarial Society, and we definitely talked about collaborating further on an ongoing basis. It was just a very good conference and great people, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing them in Barbados for our conference.
Yeah, so I've been going to these various African conferences for a few years, and apart from it being more cost-effective and better CPD than going to North America, hint, hint. It's also, you're dealing with people who deal with the same issues that we do. So there are very practical tips we are getting from the Kenyans on IFRS 17 implementation in developing markets. The South Africans have always been cutting edge. They developed a whole banking program for their exams. And if you see banking now emerging on the IFOA, I believe the SOA is starting to discuss it, it came from South Africa. So just having the linkages has been extremely, it's always been beneficial for me as a personal professional. So I'm really glad that the CAA is actually reaching out directly now.
Yeah, no, definitely one of my objectives to connect further. Actually, at this conference, we'll have a session on sovereign risk with some examples of how they treat it under IFRS 17 and other risk management purposes. So that's one area that we have in common, which a lot of the guidance doesn't tend to address in any detail, the international guidance. So yeah, it was a good time.
It was.
I think we have a video of you partying as well. I skipped that one.
Okay.
But we'll share it at the conference.
If I just make the point, interestingly enough, when we did end up in a club for research purposes, they played dub all night.
Oh, yes. That's right. We were looking for this like super African experience. And we were told to, what was the name of the club? We were told we had to go to this club. And we get in there and we're just hearing Jamaican music
all night.
Most of the night from the 80s. So we felt at home. Maybe that was one of the reasons. We particularly had a good time, felt very much at home. Okay, and this is an update, I guess, or a reminder of our work with the IAA. We have many of our members working as representatives for us at the IAA, different sections, and we want to thank them dearly for their continued work and representation as well.
Yep. Thanks, guys. This is my side hint. I really want us to get Lisa Wade as president of the IAA in the next few years, but that's, we'll see, right?
Yes, yes, it's a good plug, but let's see. Okay, I think that's the end of our update, and I want to say personally that I'm really looking forward to dishing these sweaters and seeing everybody in Barbados. It will be exciting to be back in person again after two virtual years. So our conference committee task force they've been working really hard to show you a good time and make sure you enjoy it thoroughly and getting all the relevant CPD that you need to get as well. So I encourage you to get on our website and register, and we promise you that you will have a valuable time. It's a good adjective.
I think at the CAA, we really love the virtual thing. It's the best way to reach people who maybe can't afford to come and who are scattered between hundreds of miles of water, but nothing can replace face-to-face. Okay, that's why I'm here in Canada, right? No, seriously, guys, ladies, please come. We want to see you. It will be good. And yeah, I think it's time for us to be in Barbados.
That's right. Okay, so that's a wrap. Thanks so
That's
much,
it.
Kyle.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome.